I think we do need to get started.
Okay.
People are waiting on the other end of the Ethernet.
Okay.
Yes. The mic's on it.
Oh, it is.
Okay.
But you can wait to speak into it. And you got to speak into it.
Okay.
That's good.
All right. Everyone, and to those who aren't with us, thank you for tuning in.
A little closer.
Closer.
That's good.
Yes.
Now we hear you.
Okay. Okay. All right, everyone. We have a whole audience that are with us virtually. So we wanted to try and do this as timely as possible so people aren't just hanging out on YouTube. So, I mean, we were so lucky to have this beautiful day. You know, just the way he would have liked it. So, yeah, a little fog. It's all right. A little fog is good. Yeah, it's good for pictures.
And no wind.
And no wind. See, there's a lot of good. Wait. Yeah. So, everybody knows me. I'm Antoinette. I'm the oldest. I really had a hard time coming up with words to say to everyone. And I can't believe still, you know, that the sun rises and sets without my dad at the center of the party. And it just feels very unreal. And I'm not going to begin and talk about the obvious, about how Bill shaped our lives with joy and fun and love, and how gentle his spirit was and how strong his presence. He was a friend to everyone who cared to smile back at him. And he loved a crowd and he invited anyone into his circle, but more the merrier was his motto. His greatest days were spent in the company of love. So we all know this, and everyone knows this. So the big question is, how do we let the sun rise and set without him in our orbit? How do we get back to reality and not let our sadness overwhelm the beauty and the joys of the days ahead? So I come with a little advice. We're all familiar with how Bill tackled problems. He fixed anything with bobby pins and rubber bands. MacGyver was modeled by him. Only he can make spit and glue keep anything from falling apart for a little while. And the house and the fleet of boats and every contraption are testimony to his creative and fix-it mindset. He was the fix-it man. And many of us have fallen victim to his handiwork. A falling muffler, a stuck carburetor, batteries. Dead batteries. Only to have him fix it again. He swoops in for the save and ties the problem up in yet another crazy bow. And we all nodded in agreement that there's no one better than Bill who would run to our aid and fix it. Always fixing. So we've all had an adventure, and we all heard the stories. And this is how he is going to fix this loss, this aching sadness. He's going to make it right when we remember his adventures, how he came through each time, when he brought that gentle spirit and kindness and perseverance, and he comes to us with plans for fun, especially if it involves a boat. And he will make it happen. And so he's with us today. Can you feel him at the center of this party? He's going to be with us each time we reenact, laugh, and hug the stories. So my heart is broken without his physical presence, but I know it will mend. And because I'll have all these beautiful memories and the stories. So that's how we do it. We're just going to keep telling the stories. Anybody has anything they'd like to share? The mic is open, but I think Diana is next. So, this memorial is addressed to the 18 cousins. All 18 of us have been blessed with heroes. Our heroes are our grandma, our parents, our beautiful aunts, and our bigger than big uncles. I'm a mess outside, but I'm okay inside. I really am. I'm alright. They all provided us with a sense of recklessness and personal responsibility. They provided us with reasons for hard work and the ability to give us ourselves permission to have fun and relax. They taught us to nurture and encourage and appreciate all that we have and to live a full life. This, it turns out, is a real problem. These heroes not only told us how we should behave and move forward, they modeled it and lived their own words. And because they lived their beliefs, the 18 of us got the rewards of a secure childhood with a lot of fun. Our heroes are larger than life. They're immortal and invincible. We cannot believe that our heroes are actually human. I know. So my dad was one of the biggest heroes. He was loving, inclusive, encouraging, fun, and intelligent. A child could never ask for more. All 5 of us knew every morning that Daddy was on our side. Daddy was proud, and Daddy's favorite time of day was when he was going to be with you. He showed the same feelings to his nieces and nephews. My dad was too skilled at his crafts. No one can reach his level. My dad will always be my hero. I hope I can help keep this message alive for my children, my grandchildren, my nieces, my nephew, my grandnieces, and my grandnephews. As my dad did all through his life. We're going to miss him.
You ready? Yeah.
Arms. Tablet and tissues. Okay.
No promises I'm going to get through this all in one shot. My daughter promises that if I need her rescue, she will come over and finish for me. But I'm going to give it a try. Of course, we always knew this day was going to come, but nothing we can really prepare for these days. I've often wondered what I was going to say on this occasion, and there is a lot to say, and words can only do so much, but I hope these words will suffice. My father was a formidable man. He lived his life with these few rules: work hard, play hard, and do the right thing. And he did with great conviction. He set an example for all of us that can only be described as a challenge to live life well, Stand for what you believe in, be thankful for your blessings, and doing the right thing was reward enough for the privilege to do so. We rarely saw eye to eye, my father and me, but we always loved and respected one another, and nobody could live up to all his expectations because he only saw the best in everyone. But when we fell short, he helped to pick us up, dust us off, get us back in the ring, and try again. He used to say, the one who loses the fight is not the one who gets knocked down, it's the one who doesn't get back up. And he believed there was never a good reason to quit at anything. For my dad, work was never a burden. Every broken whatever or something was just something to do, something to figure out and improve upon. He never bought a new car or a new boat, because what was the point of getting something that didn't need a little fixing up? That made him exceptionally skilled at making things work, and not just the mechanical things. Broken wasn't worthless, damaged wasn't hopeless, and lost was no reason to stop looking. This extended to all things and all people as well. And as strong as he was, we all know he had the most gentle nature. He could have been intimidating, but he chose to be encouraging instead. An inspiring coach as opposed to a drill sergeant. Hours at the dining room table learning trigonometry or elbows deep in grease for days. He didn't just fix things or solve problems. He showed us how to fix our own things and solve our own problems. To think out and persist and be creative when it came to finding a solution, whether that meant writing out every step of an equation or planning your next important steps in life, or using a coat hanger to fix a broken muffler. The reason was always the same. Think, persist, be creative, and don't give up. As for myself, I don't believe this life is the end of our existence. The body is just the vessel for something that continues when the vessel is done experiencing this world. So while we grieve for his absence, we mustn't grieve for his ending, because the ending hasn't been reached yet. We had the privilege of sharing this time with him, and while we can't be together again in this life, his presence will forever be with us, and we'll know he's there. And since my words aren't very good, I'm going to rely on the words of a poet to help me express what I feel. Right now, I'm in a different place, and though we seem apart, I'm closer than I ever was. I'm there inside your heart. I'm with you when you greet each day, and while the sun shines bright, I'm there to share the sunsets too. I'm there with you every night. I'm with you when the times are good, to share a laugh or two. And if a tear should start to fall, I'll still be there with you. And when that day arrives, that we are no longer apart, I'll smile and hold you close to me, forever in my heart.
Our Grandpa T suddenly departed on Friday, embarking on yet another adventure, and we are all so sad we can't take that boat ride with him. I've been thinking a lot about the magic and what she said my name, how I called up Grandma and Grandpa would answer, "Hi, Sarah." It's a kind of magic I can't replicate with my voice. A vibration that was aged with love and experience, like the wine in the muscle water that Grandpa loved to slurp up. "Hi, Sarah," with magnanimity. I hear it in my head, the way he said my name, with welcoming familiarity, because I never knew a world without it. Grandpa was always there. It's hard to put into words what kind of a man he was. A true original, a bastion of kindness and inclusion, and always ready to go for a boat ride. It didn't matter if it was too cold, no wind, low tide, or even broken engine. You could still go for a ride. Everyone should come, and you knew it was going to be a good time, and you would have a story to tell. Grandpa could make anything happen with a bobby pin, a rubber band, and a can of ether. He could fix anything, but good luck if anybody but himself was going to use it. Grandpa didn't own underwear, just bathing suits. It's just a fact. He's the reason I failed my first road test. Lorraine just said the Twitch feed went off when Billy was speaking.
Michael!
I can stop right now. All right, I'm gonna take it from Grandpa didn't own underwear. Just kidding.
It's always worthwhile.
It's always worth repeating. He's the reason I failed my first road test. You gotta act relaxed, he said, and told me to keep one elbow resting on the door, aka don't put both of your hands on the wheel. He loved ferociously hard and lived dangerously fun, like hoisting you 60 feet up a mast to change a light bulb and don't tell your mother kind of fun. I'm grateful to have known the man who partially made me and definitely shaped me for almost 38 years. Beyond the stories, I think about the Bill Truglio that I see in myself. How difficult it is to whittle down a guest list when I am inviting friends to a beach house. Everyone should be here. The fact that this is my car key. I only have one, the clicker doesn't work, and the key part is taped together. And every time I go to a mechanic, they laugh at me. But you know what? It works, so I don't see a reason to pay for an expensive replacement. When my parents built their house, I know my mother secretly loves the fact that the town made them build at the end of the road, basically a parking lot, so everyone can come, and there's always room. When we love, we give pieces of ourselves away, and Grandpa loves so givingly. He is in all of us, especially when we are all together. Grief is just an expression of love, a feeling of love and longing, a feeling of love and missing. We have so many stories, and we will miss him so much. But when we are together and telling his stories, we can feel his love and bring him with us on every adventure. Be kind to yourself for Grandpa, and try to have a good time, because at the end of the day, here we are all together, which is all he ever wanted.
But I have been around for 43 years, and when I first met him, our differences could not be more striking. He was Catholic, I'm Jewish. He was a suburbanite, I was a city boy. He lived in a large private home on the Great South Bay. I had only lived in apartment buildings. He loved football. I loved basketball. His views were conservative. My views were liberal. He was a Republican. I'm a Democrat. He loved to stay home. I loved to go out. He was a mechanical engineer, wore a pencil behind his ear. I was a digital age computer programmer. He was calm and quiet. I was loud and neurotic. He belonged to what we call the greatest generation. I belong to the baby boomer generation. He loved to fish. I love to order fish. Any engine, whether the car or the boat, I could barely find the engine. In fact, we probably only had two mutual interests. One, the beach, and two, his second daughter. Over the years, he saw me through a lens that filtered out and disregarded the differences. I became overwhelmed by his unwavering generosity, his selflessness, and his inclusiveness. As a city slicker, unfamiliar with manor life, surrounded by a family where it seemed that everybody owned boats, he told me early on, Gary, you don't need to embrace boating to be accepted into the family. but you'll have a lot more fun if you do. And he was, of course, as we know, usually right. Eventually, I had a thought too that has remained unexpressed until now. I did not need to own a boat to develop and strengthen the emerging bond between us, but it would be quicker and easier to do so if I did. And so I did, and so we did. My baby boomer generation is at a point now where what we're experiencing today has become all too commonplace. Through events like these last few days, and unfortunately some others, I've been blown away by the behaviors, the maturity, the compassion, and the dedication that my own adult 3 children have shown. Without embarrassing them, people have told me time and time again how wonderful my children are and what a great job Mary and I have done raising them. But no one is born knowing how to parent. You have to learn it somewhere. And I learned it from him to a large extent. Though I was not born to him, he parented me. One day my children will be parents, and they too will have his parenting skills integrated into their very fabric, and as in so many other ways, and this way too, will his legacy live on.
I just got a very nice email from John Vito, Dad's cousin in New Jersey, and I guess John, you guys are watching. So he writes, "This is Cousin Vito reflecting on the wonderful times and remembrances spent with my beloved without leaving something out, as spanning back more than 70 years. The happy summers at Copeg's American Venice, enjoying boat rides, canal swimming, clamming, Aunt Mary's great cooking, Ralph's pizza, and of course Billy tweaking the boat's engines. We'll miss you, dear cousin. Thanks for the memories. Always in my thoughts and prayers and heart, Cousin Vito." So does anyone else and say something?
You got something written, honey? Yes, she does.
Sandy has something on her board.
So Daddy really loves Sandy a lot.
We all love Sandy.
Sandy was really. He would go to the hospital and he would tell Diana she doesn't have 15 fingers. She has 10 fingers, just like everybody else. Put it on the microphone? Yeah.
Okay.
That's my girl. Your head, go up there, Liz. Get on the camera.
Says here, do I press the button, honey?
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna come and do it? Okay, baby.
Watch the cord, friend.
All right.
Good job.
Press that button.
I'd like to thank you for Grandpa and Grandpa.
Grandma.
And Grandma.
She's saying thank you to Grandpa and Grandma.
Yay, very good. Thank you, everyone. This is wonderful. Although he would have wanted everyone here. Oh, do we have someone else? Oh, Gloria, come on up, Gloria. Oh, yay.
See if anybody wants to get married. We have the tent.
Yeah, does anybody want to get married today? We have the tent, we have the bathrooms. We got food. Hi, everybody. So I don't have a funny story or a memory to share, but I heard this poem or this reading at actually another service that George and I went to many years ago, and the poem resonated with me, probably not because of the nautical references in it, but I've shared it with many people over the years because it just stayed with me. So I'm just going to read it, and if it stays with you, so do you? Okay. And it's called Gone From My Sight. I am standing upon the seashore,
A ship at my side spreads her white sails to the morning breeze and starts for the blue ocean. She is an object of beauty and strength. I stand and watch her until at length she hangs like a speck of white cloud just where the sea and sky come to mingle with each other. Then someone at my side says, "There, she is gone." But gone where? Gone from my sight. That is all. She is just as large in mast, hull, and spar as she was when she left my side. And she is just as able to bear her load of living freight to her destined port. Her diminished size is in me, not in her. And just at the moment when someone says, "There, she is gone," there are other eyes watching her coming, and other voices ready to take up the glad shout, "Here she comes." So,
Okay. All right, everyone. We have a lot of food.
We gotta eat the food. And thank you all for coming and paying tribute.
Oh, hands in the water.
Okay, Haley, I see you.
Woohoo! You almost took him out. That's a real cannonball right there. Well, you're too slow.
You want to jump with me? You want to jump with me?
Go.
One, two, no? Okay.